Most VPN claims to hide your traffic, but what if your VPN was truly indistinguishable from a normal encrypted web traffic? That's what VLESS in reality does. It camouflages your connection so deep that it looks like genuine HTTPS connection to anyone's watching. In parentheses, government. In this video, I'm going to show you how it works, why is it so hard to detect, and how we can set it up. Let's get invisible. Welcome to your channel, Code Voyage. My name is Iman, and I'm here to journal my day, things that I play around, new technologies, new languages, new self-hosting service, or anything. Just find interesting. I'll try to make a video of it, document it, and maybe teach you, and maybe it's something that you also want to learn or try. And I would highly like to know your comments, your ideas and opinion about these services. If you can deploy it better, if you have a better tweaks about it, if you have a better alternative, or whatever your opinion is, I would love to hear that in the comment section. So let's dive in. Today we are going to talk about V2RAY protocol. V2RAY protocol is a little bit old, not that old, but there has been changes recently, and there has been development throughout the years since it has started. The latest protocol it has, it's called VLESS, and it's very light, very performant. And we're going to mix that up with reality. Very quickly jumping in, I will not get very much technical into this, but just a broad understanding of what VLESS is. So VLESS is a light and a secure protocol. It's much more secure. It's more secure than VMess, which was older protocol. It drops a couple of old encryptions and only keeps the strong encryptions. And as I have tried it, it's very performant. It almost doesn't change speed. It does not reduce or degrade it. And we're going to test that as well. Yeah, it's not a plug and play, so you kind of need to know what you're doing, and it's highly configurable. So I for sure do not know how to perfectly configure it. I just know couple of things that it works well, and we're going to dive into that. But yeah, exactly. So it has so much aspects to its config, and let me know if you know some good tweaks about it. Please, I would love to hear about it. Anyway, what's reality? So reality is a TLS camouflage layer. Basically, we are trying to do a TLS handshake, the three-way handshake, but we're pretending to be one of the famous websites, let's say Yahoo. So when somebody trying to make a VPN connection to our server, a client trying to make a VPN connection to our server, we are going to handshake with them as one of the Yahoo's server, let's say, or Google, or any other website, depending on where it could be different, and you can also modify it. In this case, it would pretty much look like a genuine connection. It would pretty much look like your browser is trying to have a HTTPS connection to yahoo.com, and it wouldn't be suspicious. And that's what reality does. It would makes it harder for ISP or anybody who's monitoring the network, such as governments, to detect it. And yeah, so based on wherever you are, you can pretend to be that one famous website. Moving on. So this is not for illegal purposes. This is for educational purposes and for privacy and security needs. So just so you know, there are governments in the world, such as Iran, where I'm from, that even right now, there has been an internet shutdown for 48 hours. And there will be a release of internet here and there, a presence of internet here and there, but it's very hard to communicate to people inside, and people cannot communicate from outside. It's most of the time it's kind of like an intranet rather than internet. It's like a huge modem router, and everybody has connected into it, but that router is not connected to the internet. Anyway, moving on. So, but for those people who get to connect to internet even a little bit inside the country or even other countries like Russia, um, they can use such a protocol and such a VPN, and they can use one of the famous websites which has server outside and it doesn't look suspicious. So it doesn't have to be necessarily yahoo.com. I remember back when I was in Iran, the Yahoo wasn't filtered, it wasn't censored. So it could be normal. Anyway, and there will be some challenges setting this up. I'm gonna tell you about my experience and what challenges I faced through. Before we go into the demo, and that's our habit every time we go to the demo first, I want to give a huge shout out to Ivan. Thank you so much, Ivan. It was your suggestion. Actually, I kind of knew about V2Ray, but I did not know about VLESS and reality. And I was like, okay, that seems interesting. And he also introduced to me, if I'm not mistaken, the VLESS.dev, which we will get into. And it has a really nice and thorough instruction of how to use it um, when it's set up. But then we will get into how to deploy it and stuff. So for the second part of the video, I'll go through setting up it from the scratch, and I'll try to attach a domain to it and get a SSL TLS certificate so it's more legit. Anyway, so this is my iPhone that you're seeing right now. I'm just going to go to ExpressVPN. We can also take a speed test with ExpressVPN and see how ExpressVPN works, how no VPN, like what's the speed with ExpressVPN, without ExpressVPN, I mean no VPN, and then the VLESS that I have set up. So let's run this. 263, 132. Okay. Now I'm going to turn off the ExpressVPN. All right. And then go back here, run this one more time. So this is without VPN. 317, 216. All right. And now let's try to connect to this one. So this is a server. It's actually in Japan, Tokyo. So it's very far from me. But that's also good, right? Because we want to, we don't want to just get a server right beside us, like in our city or in our like a region. We want to see how it works globally. So let's just check it out. So I'm just gonna hit connect. Advertisement pops up. I'm going here. Okay, 182 millisecond, 230, 40, 50. Okay. It's almost like it doesn't. I mean, this was my original speed, right? So it's pretty much the same. It's the upload is a bit less. It was around 100 if I'm not mistaken. I can go back and check it. Oh, my phone turned off. Yeah, so upload is degraded, but download is pretty much the same. This is interesting. And again, I'm so far from Japan right now. I'm in the west side of Canada, in Vancouver. So it's a huge, you can see it's 182 millisecond. Anyway, but that was interesting. You can definitely get a closer server. All right, so we have the VLESS.dev here. We're going to set up the VPN from the beginning ourselves. We got the VLESS.dev. After you set it up and you have installed the 3x-UI, which we will do right now, you will get to the dashboard and you can see things like this, and then we will get to these parts. And these are all the clients that you can use. The V2 box is not actually listed here, but V2 box is also a client that I just demoed to you. So you can use any of these, and they're also V2Ray clients for Mac, for Windows. Like the V2 box is actually on the Mac as well. Yeah, so on Android, on Linux, there are just so many. clients, right? Um, so it's with the simple Google search or now ChatGPT search, you can get to that. So here's the actual Git repository we're going to go into. It's very beautiful Git repository, to be honest. It has 20K stars. It has been 4.4K, which is amazing. But great job, great shout out to MH Sanity. It's an amazing, and it has a 112 contributors. Moving on, they're amazing. If you could donate to them, please do. And I'm not a sponsoring or anything, but it's just open source softwares have been always there. People have done it throughout their passion, not to get any money from. Yeah, and big corporation always use open source software for free, and nothing, there no cent of those products will get to the developers. Anyway, moving forward. So there's a install bash script here, which is very straightforward. We can use that. Again, just a warning, do not run any bash script you see on the internet. Definitely dig into this, read it through. I'm not going to go line by line. It's a very thorough bash script, so it's going to take a huge amount of time to read it. So I'm not going to go through that. But you can also install it yourself. You can clone it. It would understand what kind of architecture your basically server has, what kind of a CPU architecture does it have, and then based on that, it would download the right package, extract it, change the permissions of that file, copy stuff, and then run the systemctl service for that. Anyway, so you can also do that. You can also do it using a Docker. A challenge that I have faced was, I don't know if you have watched any of the videos, but I've tried to set up a reverse proxy, and I actually did. And the traffic reverse proxy that I have, it basically sits between my server and the internet, listens to any request comes from the internet, from any client, me, whoever else, and then decide which service need to take care of that request. It's really good. It's also another like line of defense. It adds another security layer. It's very recommended. As always, I try to put the V2 the VLESS VPN behind my reverse proxy, but there was a challenge. There was a challenge. So, what was the challenge? What does reality do? Reality tries to mimic and tries to pretend to be a famous website. How do you get connected to famous websites usually, like Google, Yahoo? Just go to your browser, type in the address, go to it. How that happens, what's the port? So either you're connecting using HTTP, which these days is kind of impossible. You kind of get enforced to use HTTPS, but most probably you're using HTTPS or port 443, meaning the reality or our VPN connection should be running on port 443 to make it legitimate and not suspicious. Because if you're connecting to yahoo.com on a random port, well, that's suspicious. You want to get connected to a famous website on a very common protocol that everybody uses, like 443. That's why your server, no service on your server should listen to port 443. But reverse proxy listens to port 80 and port 443 to manage all the connections and all the services behind it. So if you have a reverse proxy, it makes it very challenging to set up this VPN, the VLESS VPN. There are ways, and I tried to actually make them work. I've tried many iteration. I couldn't get it to work. It doesn't mean that it's impossible. You basically should avoid any TLS termination. You need to run a TCP pass through, so that the TCP connection passed through your reverse proxy blindly without reverse proxy doing any operation on it. And this is theoretically possible, and I even found documentation about it, but unfortunately, I couldn't get it to work. Anyway, so that's why we are going to get AWS as a practice, but you can get any VPS, any part of the world, as you wish. And then we have domain on Cloudflare. We're going to set that up, and we're going to get to installing part. All right, so I'm going to run an AWS instance right now. So my region is US West 2, which is Oregon, if I'm not mistaken. It's much closer to me, so it's more optimized. I want to launch an instance, VLESS VPN, let's call it new. And then I want to choose a Debian for this one. I think, I mean, Ubuntu worked as well. I've tried it. It's fine. And anyway, Ubuntu is kind of like a Debian's child, so it doesn't really matter, but Debian is fine. I'm just going to use Debian. I'm going to leave the rest as is. T2 Micro is fine as long as it's free tier. I'm going to choose SSH key, and then I'm going to allow HTTPS and HTTP. Later on, we might have to change the firewall to open up another port. We'll get to that. That's about it. Let's launch the instance and see what kind of IP address do we get. So here's the public IP address I have. I want to copy that, and I want to go to Cloudflare. So in the Cloudflare, in the DNS section of my domain, or wherever you have your domain, wherever you have bought it, there will be a DNS section under your domain's configuration, and then you can change that. We need a CNAME DNS record, and we will call it www, and then we will paste in our domain name, meaning that even if they try to access our domain or our domain with www, they could still get through. So it's kind of like a subdomain that leads you to the same root domain. Yeah, it's just a good practice. And we definitely need an A record. And I'm going to change this right now because that's the old one. So I'm going to change this to the new one. We need to make sure that the proxy is off and the TTL is on 1 minute, so it keeps updating each 1 minute. You don't have to keep the TTL to 1 minute. It's just my obsession, I guess. Usually it's on like 1 hour, 10 hour, or a day if it doesn't change. Yeah, it depends on your need and how much your IP might change. So my house IP might change. That's why I usually put it on 1 minute to not have it down in my system. And if IP have changed, I get updated, and everything works well. Anyway, I'm just going to save this. It's probably going to take a minute to kick in. Meanwhile, we're going to connect to our new server. I'm just going to copy this, going here. Oh, my bad. So it was downloads, not download. That's why I couldn't get in. All right, now I'm in my server. I'm going to run sudo apt update and then sudo apt upgrade -y to make everything updated. Meanwhile, we are going back to the Cloudflare. What we can do, we can, oh, not this. We can just open up another tab. Try to, oh, I'm gonna ping -4 to get the IPv4 and not the IPv6 of my domain. The ping doesn't go through because the firewall is blocking the ICMP protocol, and that's the default firewall, and we have not enabled it, and we're not expecting that. But what I just wanted to see is that the IP could be retrieved, and this is exactly the last thing we have. I went through this, so I'm kind of trusting the install.sh, like the bash script, the install bash script here. So I'm just going to copy here, but you can basically follow along and with the manual installation. I'm going to do this. we need to run it with the root privilege, and we do not have a root password. So I'm just going to Control C for now. What we need is, okay, we're going to set a root password, and that could be anything you want. VPS by VPS is different. So AWS has its own restriction. We have connected over the SSH and SSH key, and that's why we don't have a root password. And for many VPS, when you can get connect to it, you have a root password, and you can basically just follow along. You don't need to change the password. I'm going to run su dash to get into the root. I'm just gonna, okay, so now we are root, all right? And I'm gonna run the bash script one more time. It's going through, it's gonna check if any packages are missing and whatnot, and it has downloaded the AMD64 architecture and extracted and everything. Would you like to customize the panel port setting? If not, a random port will be applied. I want a random port to be applied because I want to tell you how to change the firewall as well. Oh, I think I should have said no, but anyway, I'm just going to put the random port. So 2253, okay, and a 7? No, never mind. 2253, okay. All right, so it's running on this, and they can check that out, but since the 2253, it's not allowed on the firewall, we have to go back here, go to the security, change the security group, edit inbound rules, add rules, custom TCP 2253, and then from anywhere. Save rule. All right. Now I should be able to open this up. Yep, we don't have any SSL TLS certificate yet, so that's why it's insecure. And here we go. We have the panel. Admin is the default username and password. Make sure you change it as soon as, oh, actually it's not, sorry. So when you run the bash script, the install bash script is actually creating a random username and password for you, which is more secure. So I'm going to copy paste the user pass that I got here, and then I could get in. I'm going to save this for now. And then here it is. So we're not going to create a VPN right now because I still want to connect the domain and get an SSL TLS certificate. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We want to run the x-ui software that we just installed. And when you run that, there will be a menu, and from the menu we want to stop the core and the panel server. So we're going to hit 12. Number 12 is the stop. All right, and then now it says panel state not running, X-ray state it's not running. So basically this software is a combination of a web server which serves us the panel, the dashboard that we're seeing, and then an X-ray core which is running the VPN protocols and everything underneath. So that's what we need. We have to stop it because we want to get the SSL TLS certificate. I found that when we do not stop it, it's not possible, or there will be some sort of error. So I'm going to stop it, and then from the menu I'm going to choose number 18, SSL certificate management, and then number 1, get SSL. So a bunch of things have not been installed. It's installing them, and then it tells me please enter your domain name. What is my domain name? I'm just going to copy it from here, paste it, Voyager lab.xyz. I want to leave the main port as 80, what it is. Okay. All right, so the last time I tried to get the hit number one, get SSL, it gave me a couple of errors, and we can actually go up and check out the error. So it says that the cron tab is not installed. Cron is service in Linux where you can schedule things. You can say every 1 day, every 18 hour, every 1 month, every year, or whatever, do this. You can schedule and do it in a loop. It's needed for the SSL because after a year or so, they will be expired. So they need to um, basically revoke it and get another one. After I installed the cron, like sudo apt install cron, I run it again and it's working fine, I guess. Let's try it again. So enter your domain name. I'm going to leave the port as 80. Okay, I think it's going through. It's trying to fetch the TLS certificate from the Acme software. Do you want to modify the reload CMD for Acme? Yes. I'll choose the number one present. So just systemctl reload and restart the XUI. I do not have an Nginx, and that's fine. You can run reverse proxy and Nginx as a reverse proxy to get to the panel, but still we need to leave the port 443 for the VPN. Would you like to set this certificate for the panel? Yes. And it's set. All right, so we have restarted, so it's running, and we are going to check this out. It's working. All right, we're in the panel. Let's check the, so it's verified by the Let's Encrypt. So we have a valid SSL TLS certificate. We need to get back the user and password. Here we go. All right, now we're in a very legit way. The good thing is the port is random, and so nobody knows it. And then there will be a specific URI, which again nobody can guess that. So it's really hard to get to this panel, get to the username and password, and then try to brute force it. It's fine. It's okay. All right, and then after we are done, these steps is actually mentioned in the VLESS.dev thoroughly, so you can follow this as long. But I'm going to tell you very fast. So we're going to inbound, add inbound. The protocol going to stay on VLESS. The port that we want to work with is 443 because, well, we want to use reality in the best way possible. And it doesn't have to be 443, by the way, but it's better to be. I mean, it's going to work on other ports as well. Of course, your firewall should allow it. If you change it to any random port, you then need to make sure that you go to your firewall, add another custom TCP inbound. Anyway, 443, moving forward for the security, we're going to choose reality. We're going to say we want to mimic Yahoo on 443, so any HTTPS, yahoo.com. And we're going to leave this as is, and we're going to generate a new certificate here. Make sure you hit that. And then we're going to create. And when you create this inbound, you have one user set up here by default, and then you can make sure you edit it and put the flow on the first one, xtls-rprx-vision. I don't exactly honestly know what flow is. I need to study on that, but as I said, it's very highly configurable, so I don't know lots of things about it. I just know a couple of things to make things work out and work out safely. That was my main goal, but I would love to learn more about it. And if you know and you can help me out, please do in the comment section. I would highly appreciate it. Anyway, so here we go. We have our server running, and it's time for test again. So I'm gonna bring up the QR code. A little bit glitchy. All right, so I'm gonna hit the QR code. Let's scan this. Okay, and it's a GAH1. I'm gonna connect to it, and then I get the advertisement. It says Amazon, so it knows that it's an Amazon server. So that's a problem, right? So I cannot really run this VPN on the Amazon and give it to people in Iran because, well, Amazon's IP addresses are pretty known, and there are no Amazon services allowed in Iran, and it's not censored. All of them are censored. So what, based on my understanding, all the Amazon IP addresses, all the AWS IP addresses are in a kind of blacklist. So whoever is connected to it, it's not something that government likes. Neither if you're watching a Prime video or connecting to any AWS instance. Anyway, that's why I went to choose a random server in Japan to just try out this theory that maybe some random servers somewhere in the world, it's still working. Anyway, it was just my thought process, so I thought I would share it with you. It's not just about the protocols, you need to actually try to see it in different aspects. So the ping is very low. Well, it's expected because it's in the west side of the US, and I'm in the west coast as well in the Canada, so it's very close in the distance. My download speed is pretty much the same. It has not changed, and my upload speed is the same, I believe. Let me see if I can get the history. Yeah, so it doesn't show it here, it's glitching. But anyway, it was 216 and now it's 211, so it's pretty much the same. Amazing. So it works. Oh, there was one other thing actually I wanted to tell you. So we have seen about the speed, but we haven't checked the privacy much. Let me show you that. Okay, so if you go to ipinfo.io/what's my IP, and if we refresh this, well, we'll see that it's in Oregon. It's a cloud hosting. It's an Amazon Inc. We get a couple of information about this. We get the location of the servers and stuff like that. But when we come to the privacy detection, the VPN is not on. So our connection is not considered to be VPN. And this is an important thing. The only VPN I've seen that works this way was OpenConnect, the OC serve. Right now, I'm going to get the ExpressVPN connected and then try to refresh this. And you see that the VPN is turning on. So right now, so with the simple IP info curl or API, or it's easier to detect other VPNs than VLESS. And this is just a small indication and like a test for it's much more undetectable. Anyway, so that was the last thing I want to show you. That's pretty much it. Don't try this QR code. I'm gonna delete this right now after I've recorded this video. So yeah, don't worry about it. There has been a couple of people telling me in the comments that you're showing a couple of credentials. I was like, don't worry about it. All these credentials are temporary. If you see things, I've already looked at it, take care of it. I'm trying to make sure I'm in a safe spot when I'm exposing myself on my screen. But thank you so much for your thought. It matters a lot to me. Thank you so much. I will not take much of your time. Thank you for watching till here. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. It gives me hope, energy to keep going, try more things, try different things. And if you have anything in mind that you want to run on your computer, a self-hosting service, anything interesting, any new VPN maybe, let me know. I would love to check that out. And hope you enjoy the content. Have a good one. Take care. See you.